What's good, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON here, coming at you today with a little bit different set of tips, not necessarily for in-game, more for the IRL. I know a lot of you are university students who are just starting up their semester. I apologize, rip summer. I hope it was a good summer for you. But I got an email about a month ago from a Destiny subscriber named Jack. He's coming into his first semester of university, gonna be playing Division I soccer, and wanted my advice for, if I could go back in time, talk to my pre-college self, what would I tell me? That was phrased kind of funny, but yeah, he wants to know what are some good tips and advice for university. And this is a topic I'm really passionate about because I've shared it here on the channel before. University was one of the toughest experiences in my life just because of 1,000,000,001 different factors going on. And if I could roll back the clocks, go back in time and talk to myself and give me these tips, I know it would have improved my time at university and made things a whole lot smoother. So I want to share those with you today. So first of all, these tips, pretty much geared for university students. You can probably take a little bit of it for high school level students, but I wasn't very great at high school either, and I don't have a ton of tips for high school. So with that said, university. First tip I would tell myself is find communities and make friends early, as they will likely be your support group throughout the rest of your time at university. The best way to do this is just be very outgoing, find clubs or activities you enjoy, and make it a habit to pursue those ventures. So when you're at university, even at the small schools, there are clubs for virtually everything. Even at like really small schools, I guarantee you there are like league clubs or esports clubs. There are clubs for virtually every kind of outdoor activity you can imagine, be it varsity sports, maybe you're really into BMX, or, insert blank here. But when you first get to university, the community you build in your first year is generally the community that you're going to hang out with for the rest of your time. And it's really important to have that community, as sometimes you just need to go blow off some steam. And if you don't have a group of people, that can be really hard. After your freshman year, everybody moves basically off campus. I don't know what school it is, but a lot of schools require freshmen to live in the dorms, and most of the first year students are nearby. But come second, third, and fourth year, everybody moves further and further away and spreads out, and it becomes harder to find that support group. My second tip, set a schedule as soon as possible. Don't let your bedtime be flexible during the week. Have a set get up and get out the door time and a set bedtime. Now that can totally go out the window on Fridays, Saturdays, but when it comes to actual Monday through Friday, a lot of times kids, because I guess you're an adult at 18, but like the first time you're out of the house, right, and you're living on your own, you pretty much go nuts. And if you don't have a schedule, that can throw so much off. You have a biological clock like built into yourself. And if you're staying up till 3 and 4 a.m. every other night, just willy-nilly, you can get away with it at 18 and 19, but it can seriously impact your mental dexterity. Think about it in gaming. Have you ever tried to play a really tough game after like just being exhausted? You don't think straight. You don't play to the level that you actually can. I'm not saying you have to get the full 8 hours of sleep. Like I said, when you're 18 or 19, you're pretty much bulletproof. But if you can start setting a schedule for, I am getting up at 6:30 every weekday, gonna shower, go eat breakfast, and that is gonna get me to my first set of classes on time easily. Go to class. Don't skip class. Even if you know you can get away with it academically, like you're really, really easy class, I'm super smart, don't do it. Trust me, it is always something that catches up to you. Plus, even if it's an easy course, go to it, because that makes the exam so much easier. Even at senior level courses, the majority of what you're going to be expected to produce or write about or explain in your exams will have been covered within the course. I took multiple senior level literature courses in which there was just tons of reading required. And you want to know what? Yes, you needed to do the readings, but the majority of the content was covered in class. Like the main things you need to be paying attention to. When you skip class and you try super hard to catch up and do your best to panic over, oh man, what was this covered on? Is this going to be on the exam? It just don't do it. Have a good time, especially if you're early in university. Be safe, of course. Study early. Don't cram. Spread your workload out. Instead of studying 4 hours the night before, try and study 1 hour each day the 4 days leading up to the exam. You're going to retain the information way better this way. Cramming doesn't work. It's been scientifically shown not to work. And so if you leave it all and you both get together, I wish I would have known this. I started doing it my last year, where I would just basically, because the workload is kind of insane once you get, depending on your major and your school, the workload reached a point that was almost just overwhelming for me. The way being a film major kind of worked is, instead of going to class 3 times a week for 1 hour, like for a 3-credit hour class, it was 6 to 9 hours because they included film screenings in there as well, like 3.5 hours of screening. So my time on campus was literally 8 a.m. classes started, and then I wouldn't get off campus until 10:30 p.m. Not even joking. And that was life for like 2.5 years straight. So you get home at 10:30 and you're like, wow, there's more homework and reading than I know what to do with. I have to make dinner and get started. So you'd be up till 1 or 2 in the morning just trying to catch up, basically. And once you learn how to triage your workload, especially studying and reading, it's going to make life easy. You need to look at it and go from a perspective of, how can I complete this over the course of 3 to 4 days, instead of, all right, the exam's on Friday, Thursday night, I'm just going to drink a bunch of coffee and try and down all of this studying. That doesn't work as well as spreading the workload out. Talk to your counselor or whoever helps you with your schedule questions, as they will be someone you will rely heavily on moving forward as you get deeper into your major. So every university has a role like this. I don't really know what they're called at every place, advisor, counselor, whatever. This is the person that's going to tell you how to use the digital systems that basically are the check marks of what you need to graduate. What classes do you need to graduate? I had 3 or 4 of them during my time at university. They just kept quitting and leaving, and so it was chaotic. It was very hard to find any consistency, and they were not very helpful at all. However, you need to be a thorn in their side. You need to email and schedule with them multiple times a semester so that they know who the heck you are and can give you the help that you need. It gets complicated, especially I was at a big school, and it was just a digital system, a very confusing digital system of what you needed to graduate. And man, it was like navigating a freaking minefield. And even though the counselor wasn't always like 110% help, make sure you just go over and over again. My final year at school, I probably saw her 6 or 7 times just to ultra confirm, yes, I have everything I need to graduate. Yes, I have everything I need to graduate. Do I have all the paperwork I need? Be proactive. They're not going to pursue you. You have to pursue them. I mean, smaller schools, they might pursue them. So, one more before I sort of conclude, all right? Well, I guess the freshman tip here. Enjoy your freshman year. It usually is one of the most fun years of school. It has a ton of great social opportunities, and build that community early. The other thing I wanted to mention was take every extra credit opportunity that you have available to you. Go to every study session that you possibly can, even for the frickin' easy classes, because these are going to make the exams that much simpler. Go to class. Make yourself known to your TA. I was at a big school, so I had to learn a bunch of techniques that would work to help. Because earlier on, if you're skipping class and you don't care and you're like, meh, it can really catch up to you in a negative way. Best example I can give. Last year of school, I had to take, like I said, multiple senior level literature courses, even though I was a film major. And so you have all these English and literature majors who are well versed in this stuff, and it was ultra challenging for me. So what I did, because I knew that was going to be a really hard class, I needed a decent grade in it in order for credit for my major, I went to every extra credit opportunity there was. Even though I had sort of like a B in the class, I went to all those extra credit opportunities. Every study group I went to, I made sure to regularly communicate with my TA, the teacher's assistant, online through email. And even in a big class, I pulled a little technique where I would show up every day, sit in the same spot, and I wore the same hat every single day. Because in a class of 300 or 400, you want that visual recognizability. You want the TA to see, all right, this guy has been coming to class. This guy's been going to the study sessions. This dude's taking advantage of the extra credit opportunities. Because when they are grading your papers, especially if it's a essay-driven course where your exams are essay-based, you want them to remember your name, to know that you have been putting out that maximum effort. That can be the difference between getting a grade rounded up to the level you need to get credit for that course. These things, when I was a freshman and sophomore, I didn't care about. I was an idiot, and it totally impacted my grades and made my experience much harder later in school. And I wish I would have done those later or earlier on in my university experience. I wish I would have had those figured out earlier. So that's sort of just an initial breakdown, some of my best university tips that I would give myself if I could go back in time. Let me know some of your tips, or if you're at university, or if you guys want to see maybe a little bit more talking about my university, more videos talking about my university experience. And best of luck to you, Jack. I hope this semester goes super well. And to any of my other subscribers who are going back to school this fall, I hope it goes extremely smoothly. You can balance school and gaming and, hobbies or even sports like you in Division I soccer. So play well this fall. Thanks, guys, very much. Have a good rest of your day. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs it up and subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.